Elijah Craig, straight rye.
Oh, you do straight rye? Okay.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
I kept it small batch. I kept it small batch.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm on
Yeah.
that white right now. I'm on that white.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Please pace it. Because by the
Yeah,
end of the
please,
show,
please.
by the end of the
Crying and
show,
cussing.
hell yeah.
What did I say?
And we are live,
Yes, we
Hello.
are.
giving you a slice of unapologetic conversation. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Straight to Tape. My name is C. Perry Elysia II, the Mr. Fantastic of podcasting's Fantastic Four. First, comedian, professional joke slinger, Tico de Gallo. What's good, Tico?
You know, talk it. I live it all day, every day. Me and Ice Cube out here. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Days.
Yep.
Drink a
Too
tank
right.
of
Somebody on
right.
the corner as well.
Whatever,
Pain
yeah.
go. And the first lady of S2T, the quintessential hip hop mom, Keisha with a Y. What's good, Key?
Hey, I'm cute. I'm smart, and I cuss a lot.
Show enough.
What you think, Rob?
I mean, yeah, you know,
Nailed
yeah, I think so. I think so. It was a little, you know what I'm saying, jet lag this week, but it's all good.
You know, I something just jumped in my note. Y'all ever like walk into something and it just makes you start sneezing and coughing and whatever? It's not the Rona. It's just my life since I've been alive. Something has infiltrated like the. I feel like somebody poured pepper down the front inside of my face right
Oh
now.
snap!
That's
Trying
racism.
You were trying not to sneeze when you were doing your own intro, okay? And then one of y'all sound like
But
y'all.
hey, I'm cute. I'm
Yeah,
smart,
because somebody,
and I cuss.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah,
You nailed
that
it.
works. That works.
You
That works.
nailed
But
it.
somebody does sound like they on the corner right now.
Yeah, one of y'all sound
You know
like
what
y'all
I'm
at the Daytona 500 right now. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know,
At the bus stop waiting to go downtown.
hell yeah. But it's
That
all
would be-
good.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And of course, our social media assassin, number one, Rob Stud. What's up, Rob?
Man, I am in the building. I'm ruggedly handsome. I'm geekishly intelligent. And I'm gonna need Bishop to mute his damn
Yeah, I mean, really,
microphone
man. Yeah.
I know,
when
man.
I'm doing when
I
I'm doing my
apologize. Hold on.
introduction.
Let me do this. Let me do this. Start over, Rob. I apologize. There you go.
Yes, I am ruggedly handsome, geekishly intelligent, and I am here to bring balance to make everybody think, and that's what I'm here to do. Now you can unmute yourself because I'm finished with my introduction. Thank you.
Ah. And of course, the host of Intelligently Ratchet. You can catch them Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live. Comedian, MC, and social distance butterfly. The Bishop Omega on Bishop Omega. What's
Yeah.
up?
Hey, what's going on with you guys?
Regular.
You know what I'm saying? The king of the khaki color killers. You know what I'm saying? All day. Uplifting everything light skin today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We back in trying to bring us back in style. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Light skin laughs. You know what I'm saying? Light skin dudes, guys matter also. There it is right there. Bringing us back. Curly hair with cuts over our eyebrows trying to wild out. Thank you.
And again, we're not colorists, but we joke
No, we're
about this
not.
shit.
Very much. Very much. Yo,
I'm not
thank you
upset that I'm not upset at all that he enjoys his hue. I'm not upset.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the only hue I have. I
Right.
have to champion it.
I mean,
Well,
you
look,
could have another hue during. You could have a summer hue and a winter hue.
Well, yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
But you know, like,
That's the beauty.
yeah,
Of the melanin.
I'm not standing in the sun. They'll kick me out the meetings.
Lord. Look, thank you for joining us today on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Yo, please like, share, and especially hit us up in the comments section. Tell us what you think. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
listen. Right off the bat, I gotta jump on the comments, yo, and big up
Go ahead,
everybody.
jump in.
No. This is the big up to the people in the comments. Thank you for coming through.
Okay.
No, ain't no ratchetry jumping off in the comments yet.
already. Yeah,
Nobody
because that'd be that
yet?
early. That's early.
Yo, the homie Raph, what's up, homie? Jamal is in the building. Joe Biggs, What it do,
What's up,
homie?
Joe?
Joe coming through, my man. Karen, what's up, love? How you doing? Q was in the building. What's up, Quanta? Hey, girl. Tanya, how you doing? Tiffany, thank you, girl. Yes, I am ruggedly handsome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Tiffany. Thank you for coming through. And hey, like my man said, everybody like, subscribe, share, hit the notification so you can be part of the notification gang.
Go ahead and
You know
share
what
the
I'm
show
saying?
right now.
Dang.
Share the shit right now. Share it right now.
Hit share.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my
So,
God.
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
today's show.
wait.
What?
Rob,
It's
I'm cooking out after the show.
it's
I'm pulling up after the show.
Hold on. Chico's like hyperventilating. T, what's going on? What?
I mean, that's nice. That's nice.
That's
nice.
T-shirt battle.
That's nice.
T-shirt battle.
That's nice.
T-shirt battle,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen.
That's nice. I get it. See, like I said, I am temporarily suspending my participation in the t-shirt battle because I've allocated funds to firearms and ammunition this pay period.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be back in when I get back in. You heard me, Jimmy. What's up, homeboy?
So look, ladies and gentlemen, today's show,
Wait, one more thing.
What? Why?
You know how you guys had the t-shirt battle or whatever, but I do believe that masks are going to be the next wave as far as expression, as far as graphic design is concerned.
True is. I can see that.
Hey, Key.
Yes.
That's gonna be the last time you interrupt this dude trying to jump the show off.
You don't tell me what to do. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. What's up, Lynn? In the comments, what's going on? Already, have y'all sure y'all weren't drinking like an hour before the show? We usually start like right at the show.
Usually,
I don't know.
That's you jump off. But look, guys, today's show.
Wait, 1 more minute. One more thing.
Cut her mic off. Cut her mic off, bro.
I ain't got nothing. I just want to let Rob know I do what I want to do.
Karsten, what's up? Hey, and happy birthday to our very own. Felicia.
Hey,
Happy
Fee,
birthday,
happy
Felicia.
Birthday, Fee.
Happy birthday.
Happy born day, love. Happy born day. All right. Let's go.
Okay, so now today's show is reform and solution driven. All right. However, the world that we live in has this nasty habit of sneaking up into our production meeting and taking a whole dump on the topics. Okay, not a whole dump, but at least a part. Yeah, it's not a whole dump, but at least it's a part where we have to address it. I mean, we be doing you, the S2T fam, a disservice. We be doing ourselves a disservice if we did not talk about the Rayshard Brooks shooting in Atlanta this past Friday.
Okay. All right. So
Rayshard Brooks was drunk. He was in the line at a Wendy's in Atlanta. The police were called. So the initial policeman knocked on the window, dude didn't wake up, knocked on the window, opened the door, dude woke up. He's clearly incoherent, slightly incoherent. But it was a peaceful talk, right? The cop was doing what he should do, try to de-escalate the situation and get dude out of the way of the drive-through at Wendy's, which was packed because late night, and 2, figure out what the fuck is going on. That's what happened. So he wakes dude up, tells dude to pull his car off out of the way of the drive-through, and is talking to dude. It's all on body camera. It's talking to dude. Dude's like, yo, my mom passed away a year ago around now, and it's my birthday, and it's my girlfriend's birthday, it's my daughter's birthdays in a few days. Like, clearly this dude is going through something.
Right.
He did say he had a couple of drinks earlier in the day. He didn't know what kind of drinks they were. Then here comes Billy Badass, the second cop. I'm not sure, because the body cam footage that I saw that was edited for sake of time, that's what it said, um, does say that we're going to talk to this other policeman. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why. And this ends up being the policeman that ends up shooting him dead, Rashard dead. Um, they over the next 20 minutes or so, they do sobriety tests and have him standing out there doing sobriety tests. Clearly he's drunk, right? And so the cop is like, yo, do you want to do a breathalyzer? It's a yes or no. And he's like, huh? Yeah, he said, I don't want to deny anything. I don't want to say no. So yeah, sure, that's fine. So he does a breathalyzer, and it's not quite clear what, to me, when I watched the video. I've only watched it once. I can only watch it once. But um he does the breathalyzer test, and they're like, okay, clearly you're drunk. You're too drunk to drive. They put him in handcuffs, both of them. It takes both, and then he at this point there's no resistance. It's still crazy peaceful, right? And then once they put this dude in handcuffs, he bucks, and there's a whole struggle. A struggle ensues. Rashard ends up grabbing one of the cops' tasers, and they're yelling, we're going to tase you, we're going to tase you, we're going to tase you. He gets away from them. And I've seen, like, I just watched the video like less than an hour ago, but I've of course seen commentary over the last day on social media and saying that he beat their ass. He didn't beat their ass. There's no, like, he's struggling to get up. Um, and he runs away down the Wendy's parking lot. He turns and points the taser and fires the taser at the police that's in pursuit, and then cow, 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 cow. He shoots him in the back as he's running away. Yeah, I really don't have any words. Like, why the fuck does this keep happening? Like, y'all niggas don't know how to shoot in the leg to disable someone? Like, if
Well,
a taser
okay.
is not lethal force, period. And he's
Yeah.
running away.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand how this continues to happen. Like, especially in this time where there's a microscope on police activity. Like, you just don't give a fuck. Like, you just don't give a fuck. Like, he didn't have a gun. He wasn't threatening your life. And then later in the video continues on after dude is dead, basically. And the cop that shot him, that he shot the taser at, it's like, I kind of felt it, but it didn't attach to me, so I'm not that affected. Why the fuck did you take this man's life, though? Like, I just don't understand. All we're asking for is our due process. Due fucking process. Like, due process. Arrest him. Subdue him. If the nigga's running away and you can't catch him, then just let him go and you'll get him later. His car is sitting right there, probably with his wallet in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the law. I don't, other than racist ass fucking cops. I don't understand the logic, because dude's life, the cop's life, was not in danger. You can clearly fucking see that shit. You can clearly see that shit.
Nah, it wasn't danger. It wasn't danger because again, if you look at the side, of Mr. Brooks, you know what I'm saying, and I looked at a little bit of it or whatever, he actually bench pressed and threw one of the cops off of him. He was a very sizable man, you know what I'm saying? And what it is at that point in time, when it escalated at that point in time, that was pure unadulterated fear. Now, he has the taser in his hand, like, again, deadly force from our good friend Justin on Intelligent Ratchet explained to us eloquently when you should use deadly force. Again, if he would have grabbed the cop's gun, shoot him. He grabbed the taser. You understood it was a taser. You know what I'm saying? Because he shot you with the taser.
It was neon fucking green.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You got shot with a taser and it didn't affect you. There was no reason for you Like if he would have ran or whatever, and I was that cop, again, I would have like, you know what? His car is sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? His car is sitting right here. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If he got scuffed up in that joint, he was rumbling the cops, fine. But he should have, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been police brutality if they would have went on ahead and headed up on it and stomped him out because he was fighting. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been on that part. But it's like, again, that's where police training comes into play, because what you have to do is when you're scared as a police officer, your first option should not be deadly force.
And
you
it
know
was the first option. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying.
In a
That's
time where you should be de-escalating.
Especially when you shoot somebody in the back. If you're shooting somebody in the back, they're running away. They're no longer a threat. Yeah, they shouldn't.
You can't be a threat to someone if you shoot them in the back. I can't be a threat to you if you're behind me. There's no way, shape, form, or fashion. Even if I was holding a gun and running away from you, somehow holding a gun over my shoulder towards you, I'm still not a fucking threat. I'm not a threat if I'm running away from you.
Okay, Key. Yeah, if you're holding a gun over your shoulder and shooting, come on, don't let's okay. But anyway, so like, and early into your point earlier about them shooting him in the leg, that's not that would be they're not trained to shoot to wound. They're trained to shoot center mass to stop a threat. So nobody's gonna shoot a suspect in the leg to stop them. That's why they have those lower levels of force, i.e. the taser. Now I completely agree that this was a disparity of force because it was a taser. They knew it was a taser. They knew that they both had their sidearm. You know, their sidearms weren't taken from them. It was a taser. It was two cops. He only pointed the taser at one. So I mean, it's a complete it's not justifiable force to just shoot him in the back as he was running just because he pointed a taser. That's the bottom line. So I mean, and I'm not even jumping all down the, you know, like the racial aspect of it, because that can be debated, but it's just not good optics right now with what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? The optics are terrible.
Right.
But the bottom line here is that wasn't a justifiable shooting because it wasn't an equal level of force. I don't care what y'all are saying in the comments right now to try to justify this shit.
Dude.
Well, some of the people in the comments, the black people ain't never right. We always wrong.
If you go back to watching old like westerns, and you know what I'm saying, back in the days, to shoot a man in the back was some cowardly shit.
Right. I watch Bonanza every day.
You know what I'm saying? That's some cowardly shit. And like everybody's saying, I agree. You know, I can't add any more to it, but you know, hey, you have his car, you have his address. If he's running, you know, you can. Simple. Dudes are fast, but they're not faster than a radio. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like you can't have cops. You know what I'm saying? You could have called, be like, "Yo, we got one running." You know. Oh man, the whole
again he doofed out a couple of cops. You know what I'm saying? He doofed them out or whatever. And again, it's like this: when you feel afraid, you know what I'm saying? It's just like this: if you got a gun in your hand and a bear just runs past you and knocks you the fuck over, the first thing you're gonna do, oh, this bear's attacking me, clap, 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 because we understand what grizzly bears can do. You know what I'm saying? When you put that fear in people, again, it's like this: what they in the first half of the situation, they handled it the way they were supposed to handle it. It's like this: it comes down to the point when where training is involved, when you get in these stressful situations, that you don't automatically run to deadly force. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you do for cop out, first of all, you know what I'm saying, somebody said the cop's not in shape. That's not our fault. Maybe you should get your ass in the gym. Maybe you should learn a martial art or something like that. So you can do this right here. When you're in the hand-to-hand combat stuff, you could subdue a suspect. Because if you have to go to, because they train you up until all of these points until you get to physical force. Again, same thing. Like I say, learning a lot from Justin or whatever. So it's different steps. It's different parts of course that you go up into. You get the physical. So guess what? If you're not, first of all, that's police department fault for not having cops in shape enough to fight anybody. If they happen to get into that point. Right. Another thing is this right here. The man is running away. It's not a justified killing. If there's bullets in someone's back, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how in what way someone's running away from you and you have to let off as many shots as you let off. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Raphael. There's a whole lot of ifs, what if, this, that, and the third going on. We can't deal with the what ifs and the, you know what I'm saying? We can't go down that road. We don't know what would have happened, yada yada, what if.
Who is this person in the comments? What is her name?
So what I'm saying is the bottom line is
can I I'm sorry not to cut you off. What I'm gonna say is this right here to Miss Ridgeway. If he ran down and hurt someone else, first of all, as listen,
he didn't hurt anybody.
I don't know how you think balance escalates, but unless he's a psychopath, he's running away from the cops. He's not trying to hurt anybody else. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a terrorist in an action movie where he just going out and he going to bomb New York. He is running away from the police with a taser. What is he going to do to somebody else just bystanding by? He's going to tase him? That makes no sense. First of all, he's drunk. He just got in a fight. He's running away from police. First of all, the next person that comes up to him, he's not thinking about tasing him. Trust me, as a person that has run from the police on multiple times, you know what I'm saying, doing wrong or whatever after getting in fights and all that stuff, I have never looked to the next person like, oh, that's the next person ass I'm going to whip. Or that's the next person I'm going to do.
Yeah,
you know,
that's not how
that's not how it works.
And the cops don't get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. They just don't. That's not what the fuck they're paid for.
They're not.
They apprehend the suspect.
Hold on.
Apprehend the suspect. They arrest him and allow due process. I cannot say that shit enough. All we fucking want is equality as far as due process is concerned. That's it. Take the nigga to jail. Take him to jail, let him have his day in court, pay his fine, do his time if that's what the judge says, the judge and jury say. These dudes are out here perpetuating martial law. They don't get to do that. That is not what they pay for. That is not what the laws say. So I don't give a fuck if he ran into the next person's house and did whatever to hide.
And
due process.
Jamal, let me address you right quick, man, because you said like on three different occasions something about our attitude, and if we keep this line of thinking up, our movement will dismiss our move. First of all, why do you care about our movement? What do you care about how many people are following us or whatever? You understand what I'm saying? And the bottom line is, I don't care, bro. I don't care how you like try to like, you know, engage in mental gymnastics to justify what happened with this man, but it was an unjustified shooting because he was shot in the back. It was not an equal level of force, man. That's just common sense, bro. It's not even an opinion at this point. It's common sense, and research will document that.
You cannot shoot people in the back as they're running away. It's bottom line. I don't care who it is. If someone is running away from you, like I'm saying, if someone runs in your house and they're running out of your house, you cannot shoot them in the back. They're leaving your home. If you rack your shotgun right now and the suspect's like, oh shit, and he starts running out and you shoot him in your front yard in the back, you're in trouble.
Right.
You're in trouble because guess what? You know what I'm saying? And that's what regular gun owners, you cannot shoot anybody in the back because they're no longer a threat.
That is common sense. That is common
So
sense.
how we don't
That's
apply
why
this
I keep two cast iron frying pans by my door so I can
There you go. You fuck them up with a bat.
Just in case you coming out my door, I'm a ricochet.
I don't understand the logic. Like y'all know I like to make things make sense. I like to have things make sense. And even if they're differing opinions, I need to see the logic within your statements. And y'all this shit doesn't even make sense. Like, what if it wasn't a what if? We're talking about the facts of the video that we saw. This dude was running away. He got shot in the back. He had a taser, which is not lethal force at all. What if he what if he did this? What if he did that? So
There's
let's
there's
flip
another.
that a little bit.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead, Robbie.
There's another what if. So Amber said, especially if he had a pacemaker. Listen. If you want to live in fantasy world, go ahead and do that. We don't know if he had a pacemaker or not. That's not the question. That's not the question at that particular moment.
What if the cop had a pacemaker?
She said, "What if the cop had a pacemaker?
What if the perpetrator had a pacemaker?
That is the dumbest shit.
Dude,
Like when y'all play
equity.
Listen,
So if
I'm
the cop
saying,
had a pacemaker, why couldn't the perpetrator have a
Right.
pacemaker? Like fuck you.
My thing is this right here. If you're gonna play the what if game, you have to play it on both sides. You have to think.
Exactly.
See, this is what I'm saying. If he did it, so this is what thinking involves. When you have to do this, when you take a situation and you look at it from both sides. When you play the what if game, you have to look at it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it boils down to. You know what I mean? You can't what if it and then say, okay, this is my argument. You're dealing with hypotheticals. Let's just talk about this. Hypothetically, shit, we can motherfucking what if he would have grew wings and flew? Would it be the Air Force's problem? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
you know what I mean? We can go into these nonsensical conversations about shit. But guess what? It's what if. Bottom line, the cop shouldn't have shot him in the back. You know what I'm saying?
That's the bottom line.
Was it Brooks' fault that it escalated? Yes, it was his fault that it escalated. You know what I mean? Shouldn't have grabbed the cops. He should have grabbed the taser. But guess what? Again, as a police officer, if I know I have body armor on, you know what I'm saying? It's like this, and I didn't feel it. If I didn't feel myself dying, you know what I'm saying? If it hit me, and you know what I'm saying? If the cop said, "Yo, it hit me so bad, I had to get the taser off me, so I shot him," I can get with that. Bishop Omega is not going to argue with that. But when a guy says this right here, I didn't even feel it at the end of the conversation. I really didn't feel it. You have body armor on. So it's like this. The taser is not getting through your body armor. Even if it would have hit an arm or leg or anything like that, you still have a different degrees of force. Or you know what? If you're going to run, you're a fat cop. I know fat cops. Guess what fat cops do? They don't chase nobody. You know what they do? They call on the radio. We got a suspect running down, and then they send out more units, and then they go ahead and capture them. Just like the show they just canceled, Cops. I've seen a bunch of fat cops on Cops call ahead, and then it's 7 of them to apprehend the suspect later on. You know what I'm saying? Seen it on camera. It's police.
Look, let me say something real quick. I mean, once again, this goes back to just what you just said, Bishop. This goes back to training, man.
Training.
Okay. This goes back to training. This goes back to that whole culture. All right. I mean, if we're going to talk about what ifs, why did the manager or whoever at Wendy's go straight to calling the cops instead of knocking on his
window,
right?
Right.
Asking him, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" None of that happened.
I don't know about that, P. I don't know about that because you never know.
You know what I mean?
You know, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Knocking and at least seeing what's going on. I mean, that could have been a de-escalator right there. But once again, we're talking about ifs. Okay.
I mean, what if I ran and I had nunchucks in my back pocket?
What I'm saying is that's an if. The fact of the matter is, he got shot in the back.
Not supposed to shoot people in the back.
Yep.
Yeah. That's something. He got shot in the back by a cop.
Yeah.
So
running.
Karen says, had the cops already searched the guy to know that he didn't have a gun? Well, they didn't have him in cuffs. They tried to handcuff him, and then he, you know what I'm saying, he started bucking. That I don't know. It would have been clear if he did pull out a gun, and then they would have shot him. Then we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
He had a neon test. But I don't know. It wasn't on video. I'm not talking about. We're not talking about assumptions here. What was seen was him running with a bright neon yellow or green taser in his hand. That's it. So yeah, whatever, y'all. Can we move on?
Nah, hold on, because we can move on after this. Um,
Go ahead.
so listen, homie, Jamal, bruh. He says because if you want people to turn out and support your views on police brutality, if you keep pushing irrational views, you're going to push them away. Listen, bruh. Once again, I need to act like you
This is
actually
not
give a
right.
rat's ass about who follows us and who doesn't. And I don't give a rat's ass about who follows us and who doesn't. And the viewpoints are irrational to you because you're being willfully obtuse as usual. And if you keep pushing these irrational, willfully obtuse comments, bruh, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to, take this to we're gonna have another response on that pretty much, to be honest with you. I rock with you, man. I respect you. I got love for you, man. But come on, man. Don't come in here with that, bruh. The bottom line is it was not a justified shooting.
And the cop was fired.
If it were a
And the cop was
justified
fired.
shooting, hold on. If it were a justified shooting, to Keisha's point, the cop wouldn't be fired and the chief wouldn't have stepped down. I mean, it's all types of stuff that is building up against what you're trying to push, but you're trying to say we're irrational. No, it's to you. It's irrational to you and the people that follow you, and you know what I'm saying. Pat you on the back and shit. So anyway, now we can move the fuck on.
Can I have a question? I got a question for them. Why are y'all defending the cop?
That's a good question.
Why? Why? My
Comments,
question is this right here. Why are you so strongly defending the cop? You know what I'm saying? Why? You know what I mean? Because this, and I'm gonna tell you this. This is the reason why. I'm gonna tell you this right here. This is the reason why in 2020 we having these protests and all that stuff. Because of this right here. Because of people before the technology caught up with shit. Is because you guys always defended the cops. The cop was doing their job. They were standing. Listen, cops are not all heroes. Let's talk about that. You got a bunch.
A lot of cops are those angry motherfuckers. That
No. I'm saying no. Here it is. This is what you have. You have a bunch. You have a few. You got 10% cops that are fucking superheroes. You got 10% cops that are fucking racist assholes, and then you got 80% of the cops that just need a fucking job. Yeah, all I want to do is go to fuck home. Cops are not, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, no matter how much we build them up and we want them to, because we militarize our police and then we try to treat them like local soldiers. You know what I'm saying? These guys are heroes. They ain't do shit. None don't do shit. Throughout their whole career as police officers, they don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? They might write a couple of tickets and never draw their gun. Most cops that's what their job is, right? Then you got these villainized people that got bullied in high school and then they got power because they got a gun and you know what I mean, it's badge and they think it's supposed to be something else because they didn't watch Bad Boys and Dirty Harry and shit. So it's like this. Why are you defending the cops so hard? See what it is? Y'all come into a place of defense. When I looked at it, because I had to check myself. Oh, they killed another black man. And then I looked at it. When you look at the tape, you could be like, okay, I can see where this went wrong. But then there's still, even though with everything that went wrong, that man should have not been shot. The man should have not been shot in the back while running away. Anytime you shoot someone in the back and they're running away, you're a law officer, you should be fired. It was not a justified shooting. It's as simple as that.
Hang on. I'm gonna let you speak, Key. Hang on. We already went over this, Paul. We already know that the subject resisted, it escalated. We went over this very, very, very clear. Keisha went over this like an expert fashion at the beginning of the show. We know he resisted. We know it was escalated. The bottom line is, man, it was not a justified shooting because that weapon is not a weapon of lethal force. If it was a gun, we wouldn't be having this conversation, my brother. But it was a non-lethal force weapon that he had, if you want to call it a weapon. You understand what I'm saying? It was a taser. So
or someone with body armor. Let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about facts. Body armor, taser plus body armor does not equal the same effect as taser upon skin. He had body armor on.
Keisha was trying to make a point. Go ahead, Key.
Two things.
No, you're all right, Bishop.
Amber, 1,000 people killed in 7 years from a taser. Drop your source. Second thing is, Miss Ridgway, you say, why does it matter? Because he, who I assume you mean the police, was a person. fucking Rashad Brooks was a person with a girlfriend and a family and at least one child that we can discern from the video. So the people are no longer allowed. Black men are no longer allowed to make mistakes. There is a very, and I've been wanting to talk about this the whole time, but there is a very true and logical fear that black men have of police.
Yep.
There is. There needs to be some kind of, just like the affluenza court precedent, there needs to be some kind of court precedent. There was
Hold on. Can I?
when
Can
I
I?
was
Can I
about 10 years old, the cops came and got my daddy from my house for speeding tickets. They came into my house. So from that point on, I've always had a logical fear of police. I've known police. I know I have good friends who are police, but they're not the ones. So, I wanted us to do the whole check your privilege thing because a lot of those things I've never experienced ever. A lot of those questions I've never experienced. I know y'all have, but I have not. You don't, but I was taken out of my car and sat on the corner for a few minutes and then they let us go. I have experienced that. There is a effect on the psyche from all of this shit that we're seeing in the media. Even for the very few black men who have never experienced aggression and escalation, because they're supposed to de-escalate but they don't, escalation at the hands of your local police department or state troopers or county sheriffs. There is a real fear that infects the psyche of black people nowadays. There is. It is completely fucking justifiable. So when I was watching that video and I saw them put his hands behind his back, two of them, he wasn't aggressive at all. Two of them decided they want to help each other put his cuffs on. That's when he bucked. I don't know him from Adam, but I know that any black man that I know would have been scared in that moment, especially with every fucking thing that's going on. They are just, and this is a true testament to that. They shot this nigga in the back, yo. They shot him in the back. He had a taser, which is not lethal force. It's not lethal force. I don't give a fuck what Amber says.
No. I want to speak to that.
It's not lethal force. And in the end of the video, the nigga that shot him shake that shit off like, oh yeah, it touched me, but it didn't get me.
So we talking about, that's why y'all killing me with this tasers kill shit. Go ahead, King.
This dude is laying.
I really want to get with that. I want to get this taser kill shit too. I want to get to that because y'all say, because on one end, we're saying we're on one end. When it comes out, you're saying that the tasers are, if the tasers kill 1,000 people, first of all, as many people get arrested and tased a year, put that number against the people that are dying, that die from tasers, and see whether okay. And I want you to do that because if 100,000 people get tased a year and only 1,000 people die from it, that's pretty good numbers because you don't know what they. Because again, you can bring up the pacemaker, you can bring up conditions, you can bring all that into that 1,000, right? Okay, what I'm saying is right here. If tasers are deadly, then why do cops have two forms of deadly force on them then? Let's talk about it, because I'm saying when you bring that statistic on it, why is it mandated that the taser is safer than the gun? Is a non-lethal?
It it is a non-lethal means of
But
force, bro. It's a
what I'm saying,
different level of force.
hold
And
on, hold on, hold on. But
No,
Jamal,
no,
I'm with you. I'm with
let me
you.
hold
I'm
on,
but
with
hold
you.
on, hold on. What I'm saying is, but when it
let me
comes down, because what you're saying is tasers kill people. That's the reason why it's okay to shoot them, right? That's the reason, because
in the
tasers
back.
can kill someone, but
Right,
guess
right.
what?
It's
Guns
okay
kill
to shoot
people
him in the back.
100%.
Let's shoot him in the back. Jamad, I'm speaking on not statistically overall a study done or a survey done. I'm talking about the majority of black men that I know have had these experiences, and based on watching your video, motherfucker, you've had these experiences too.
Right.
So we we just gonna
Don't
continue
discount.
on.
Don't discount.
I just wanted to
Don't
address
do
that.
not discount the fact of fear of police. You know what I'm saying? Fear of police, because I've been stopped and I've had all my insurance and everything like that. Everybody understands because we don't know what cop we're dealing with. Come on, man. Let's stop. Let's stop playing that game. We cannot act like we're not. You know what I'm saying? That is not ingrained in us. That, you know what I'm saying, that police, and it's just not now. Just y'all think this is a 2020, you know what I'm saying, the 2010s type of situation.
Mhm.
This shit has been happening since the 60s, 70s, 1800s. And there has always been police brutality in the places of people of color. It's no, y'all ignored it in the 80s. Now it's starting to come to light because we got film on it. Stop playing, man.
That's
Hey,
that's
Like,
the
yo,
thing. That's
so
the thing. That's the thing, though, Bishop. That right there is the thing. It is they treat this thing like it's something fucking new. Like every time
mm-mm,
this pops off, oh shit, this just happened. No, man, this has
no,
been happening.
it's been
This has
Yeah.
happening.
been happening, man. This has been
My
happening.
father saw it. My grandfather saw it. His father saw it. I mean, this is nothing new. We just got new technology. That's it.
Dude, I work with kids with behavioral problems and they stay, you know what I'm saying? I got some kids that's in some real jacked up situations, foster homes, you know what I'm saying, living with grandmothers, living with aunties, you know what I'm saying, that type situation. And I deal with these kids every day. And when I'm talking to them and we're outside and it's recess and they hear a siren go by, yo, that's a police right there. And I'm talking like these are second, third graders I'm dealing with. When a siren goes by, yo, that's the police or that's the ambulance. They know, dude. It's already ingrained in their heads, bro. I'm telling you, it's deep. It runs deep, so damn deep. You know, it was a point in time. Remember, it's so crazy because remember when you used to drive with your parents and road trips and your dad or whoever, uncle, whoever's driving, like, look out for police officers for for the police traps. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That was already instilled, man.
yo, so here before we segue into the next, because we were only supposed to stay on this for like 10 minutes.
Wow, it's
Um,
into it.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
so here's what I want to say. I want to all of you, tasers are inherently lethal weapons as people in here. I want you to run away from somebody and or have somebody run away from you and point a taser at you, and I want you to shoot him in the back and kill him and see what happens to your ass in court. I just want you to go, just an experiment. You know what I'm saying? Have somebody run away from you with a taser and you shoot them in the back and see what happens to you. Because in any type of case that I've studied, if there's a disparity in the level of force, then the person that's using the lethal force is going to get in trouble. Let's
Right.
move on, please.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Um. Yeah.
That
We
was a
did
lot.
want to talk
That was a
about, and
lot.
we are going to talk about, you know, reform and solutions. All right. And lately, the first thing the first thing that comes up, the first thing that's on the tips of a lot of people's tongues is defund the police.
Hmm.
This
Okay.
topic is
So,
interesting
Yeah.
mhm.
because the there's really no explanation given. So the opposing sides have given their own spin on what this means. And a lot of times it's not correct
Yeah.
at all. Like we're not advocating to get rid of police, but categorically, statistically, in black and brown communities, the number of police per capita is exorbitant, as opposed to investing in programs to make those community programs to make those places safer. We just are pouring, and it is what it is, right? So we're just pouring more cops on top of an age old existing problem, as opposed to getting to the root of the issues: poverty, education, access to resources, access to health care. There's a lot of things that contribute to crime in certain areas that is not being addressed, and historically hasn't been addressed, and historically a band-aid has been put on. Oh, speaking of band-aids, by the way, Band-Aid is now coming out with all colors of Band-Aids. But anyway,
Yeah.
but these issues haven't been addressed. We've just increased the policing, and policing in a way that's not community-based policing. We've increased policing by just adding uh, uh, John Doe, who's a cop who lives in the suburbs and doesn't interact with the community. He just goes to work, patrols his area. He doesn't know the people. He doesn't know their circumstances, um, and he just aims to shoot to kill when shit pops off, which is the case that we just talked about.
Well, can I speak on defunding the police? You know what I'm saying, and you know, I just came back because I had to get me a donut. But what is more about? Like, I want y'all to think of this right here. Like, a cop makes what, $30,000 a year. All right, you got a community of, well, we'll just do easy number. We got a community of 50 people. They're being policed by 20 cops. Okay, so that's over policing. You know what I'm saying, due to that population. You know what I mean? So where they should have 5 cops, they got 20. What we're saying is this right here. When they say defund the police, they're saying drop that number down to 5 cops where it's supposed to be at. Then take that extra money that y'all would be paying the police, put programs in that neighborhood, so that way the people there, you're bringing back programs like Night Flight, where at the YMCA, you keep kids off the street. What they do, they pay for that. So from 10 to 12 on a Friday night, all the kids are playing basketball. 2 hours of street time that they're playing basketball. They're too tired to go out there and commit any crimes and everything. That drops it down. Also, you could do things like this: put cops on the beat instead of in your cars. Let them walk the street. Because then, like to the point that I've always been making, sometimes you got crazy Tyrone, and crazy Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? If you are on the beat on the street for 6 months, you understand that Tyrone is off his meds. So you don't need to meet Tyrone with aggression. You might now need Tyrone blood sugar's low. Go get Tyrone a candy bar, put him in the back of the squad car, and take him back to his grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? That's what community policing is.
Well,
That's what
I'm sorry, Bishop, that you said that, because I had just read an article that stated that because I was digging into this whole thing, that police spend 21% of their time responding and transporting people with mental illnesses.
Right.
That's weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying. When it comes down to police, when it comes down to that, you know what I'm saying? It's like this. So that way, what it is this right here. You start building a trust, because when Officer Jonathan, who might live out in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? He comes, he knows his people. He knows who, you know what I'm saying? At the point in time, he knows who to put the pressure on. You know what I'm saying? If they're out here selling drugs, then what it is this right here, because he knows who's selling drugs. He's just not assuming that you are selling. Just because it's a high crime neighborhood, not everybody in a high crime neighborhood are bad people. And I'm talking about from anybody. If you have never lived in a ghetto or the hood, and I've lived in 2 of them. I've lived in Philadelphia, and then I came down to Durham in the 90s. So I understand what high crime area is, and I understand how to navigate that and not get caught up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like this. But at the end of the day, you know, if you do what you're supposed to do, if you do good police work, and I'm gonna tell you this right here, any one of us in the comments right now, if you go to one of the high crime areas and start living there, and you start talking to the people, guess what? You'll know who the drug dealers are. You'll know who the crackheads are. You'll know who Mrs. Gladys is. You'll know those people, because guess what? Those are your people, and they understand once they familiarize themselves with you. they understand that, okay, this is not the person that, you know what I'm saying, this is not the person we mess with or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, yeah, y'all can say big cities and all that stuff, but it's the reason why those big cities are because of poverty and they've been over policed. What we're saying is it's an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So what we're trying to do the prevention part of it. We're trying to get these babies and stuff like that before they're able to join gangs and stuff like that. And we put these programs because it's worked before. Like, you know what I'm saying? When Cass was out there selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? Guess what? They had programs, a little bit of programs when I was there. So they had places where you could go, where you could say, instead of me selling drugs to get $50, I can go here and go read and get $50 a week on a check. You know what I'm saying? That's all some kids actually just need, just to feel some financial freedom. So it's like this. If you put those programs back in place, then these children, they see another way. They see, I don't have to join a gang. Oh, I could go play sports at the YMCA because that's what I really want to do. I really want to run track and play football. I don't want to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Look, when I see defund the police, okay, look, I'm sorry. It's about reallocating the money. If you take a look at most city budgets, a great hefty majority of that is going to the police force. Okay, when it can go somewhere else, especially when the police don't need to be called for every goddamn thing.
Hey, Amber, are there any gangs in your community? Are there any gangs in your community? Have you ever grew up in a gang infested community?
That's such an interesting question.
Yeah, I want to know that. I want to know what is your experience outside of media? Because I can tell you what a gang infested community looks like.
Yo, man. A sum of $115 billion go to military budget for the police, and
exactly
only $6 billion go to health. You know what I'm saying, to deal with health, homeless services. So that right there lets you know. You know what I'm saying. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, cops. I mean. You can't have cops out here with 6 shooters and drug dealers out here with Uzis. I get it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. I get it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Crooks are, you know what I'm saying? There's some hardcore motherfuckers
bullshit,
out here. You know what I'm saying? There's motherfuckers. I mean, you can get a fucking rocket launcher out this bitch. I'm no bullshit. I lived in Chavis Heights. I knew a dude who's trying to sell a grenade. A fucking grenade, dude. So you can get whatever you can get, but I get it. But at the same token, there's something wrong with that. If you're spending $6 billion, if it's the training, like the training that I'm getting, which is videos and maybe somebody come in for a day and talk to you, and then you sign a piece of paper and you get a certificate stating that you did this type of training without having to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? To experience it, to do it. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
How about y'all take that $6 billion, that money, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to give it to communities, I'm sorry to cut you off, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't want to give it to communities, how about this? How about you go to the root of the problem? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know not one Colombian where I could get drugs from. You know what I'm saying? So if you talk about like these guns and all that stuff in it, how about y'all do better? How about y'all do better as far as stopping those guns and those drugs from getting into these communities? How about that? That's where that money can go to. If you want to put it on the police, no, put it in the federal government. So that way they understand we could put more people on the Coast Guard to stop cocaine submarines were coming to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about all that, because what we're saying is take it out of the police's hand, the local police, put it in something else so that way you can prevent. I'm telling you, you could prevent a lot if you don't allow. You know what I'm saying? No, you know what you did? You know what you do? You allow the drugs to come into certain neighborhoods so you could drive down a property tax so that way they could come in and they could rejectify it. This is common fucking sense. I'm not doing it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing this out of we see it every day. We see how you could come to the hood and buy up the land and then raise the rent up when you start regentrifying stuff. The people are not necessarily bad in the hood. And I'm gonna go back to this. Yeah, you stayed in DC, Amber, but staying in DC doesn't mean you were in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's
At
great.
all.
It's
At
great. You know what I'm
all.
saying? Because what it is, if you're looking at it secondhand, it's different. Because guess what? I know drug dealers. I know drug dealers. I know killers. It's a totally different type of person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If you know a killer, I know a killer. I know a person that will shoot you in the face and then go have tacos with me like, yeah, I just shot somebody in the face. I know people like that. And guess what? Those people are psychopaths. They think on a different level. Most drug dealers, you know what they want to do? I'm just trying to get this money so I could get something else.
Hold up. Howard, okay? Understand, we are not calling out the police.
No.
All right. However, if you can honestly say that everything that the police does is just and should go out there unchecked, that's bullshit. Okay? That is bullshit.
Right. No, we calling out police. No, we're doing this right here. We're calling out police training. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this right here. Police officers, because we talk about this and we speak on Howard too, because I guess this is your first time seeing it. I'm talking about more police training. Don't put more police on train the police that you have to the ultimate part where they could be super police. I want police. I just don't want these scared ass. Oh, I got bullied in high school ass. Now I got a badge and I got some power ass people on the police force. I want you to be able to say this right here. I want you to say, hey, some police, and I believe this right here, some police shoot people because they're having a bad day or they're not mentally capable of dealing with something like that. I want stuff to be in place so that officer can get some help before they go pull that trigger. See, again, I'm talking about prevention.
Defund the police does not mean get rid of the police.
Thank you.
Okay?
Oh my God.
Reallocating some shit. That's what it means. But you see, ho. Let me get on this real quick, okay? You see, sometimes we have to rephrase shit like defund the police because some of us are too damn stupid to look into what it actually means. They see defund the police and they automatically think, oh, we want to get rid of the police. No fucking way. No way.
No way.
That's not what this is about. Okay? But we got to figure out where the best way to put the money. Okay? Because look,
because these police we got ain't doing a good job, man. You know what I'm saying? They keep on killing people. If your police forces keep killing, if your police force keeps killing a long list of unarmed people, then they're not policing shit right. I don't care what you say. I don't care what policy. I don't care how much you love police. If you are killing people, if there's a police officer that has 15 to 17 complaints, you're not running a good police force. You're not. There is, you know what I'm saying? You got to be out of your fucking mind if you think it's that. You know what I'm saying? If people are running away from you and the cop doesn't realize that he has a radio and shoots somebody in the fucking back, you are doing it absolutely wrong. If a cop can't listen to a person saying, say, hey, I have a legal gun permit. I'm reaching for my fucking paperwork to show it to you. Shoot this
sorry, yeah. Abolish the police means
nobody said
get rid of the police.
No.
Ain't nobody up here said abolish the police. And a lot of people out there haven't said abolish the police.
No.
What they're saying is make it better. If you would listen. If you would, God damn it, listen.
Yep.
They're saying make it better.
You say we're projecting, Mr. Howard Bice, but you're projecting.
Right.
So,
it's our goddamn show. If we want to project, we can project.
We can, but we shouldn't.
But we're not projecting though. That's the bottom line.
Like we're not projecting at all.
So
it's
like this. What it is, Mr. Howard. Is once you want to put in your ideas of what we're talking about. What I'm saying is this right here. You know what I mean? It's like this. At the end of the day, like because we talk about statistics on my last show. If you look at the statistics, most arrests are for nonviolent crimes.
Jamal, stop asking for the goddamn autopsy, man. Like, stop
Dude
being
just
so
died
willfully
yesterday.
obtuse and ignorant, man.
Right.
I mean, the
Stop
motherfucker was
You know
running
what?
away, bruh. He was
Stop
running
addressing his
away,
ass.
man.
Stop
Like,
addressing
stop
his
that
ass.
shit, bruh.
Stop addressing his ass. Stop it. Stop it.
No,
Stop
because he has said that like 8 times, and I've already tried to like gloss over it. But, bruh, did you watch the video? Well, you know that doesn't mean anything to you because I know you've watched video and you'll still make a totally separate argument. But he was running away. Where else was he got? Where else did he get shot at, bro? Where else did he get shot? You provide the autopsy saying something else. All right, let's move on.
I mean, dude just died yesterday. Ain't no autopsy. But
I mean,
anyway, yeah, I
outta
get it.
here,
I
man.
get it. I get it. Some black people are just anti-black. So whatever black people do and the cops do, if the cops are right, always. We're
Right.
just gonna have to just accept that and move on.
Can,
with our
can, can we
lives.
say this right here? If we could say, if we could say, what if the cop was right? Can y'all at least come to the joint and say, maybe the cop was wrong?
Nope, they're
Maybe.
not. They're not.
Can we
So
do that?
so we're moving on. So with this whole thing, like it really like police reform. So there needs to be some kind of
Yes.
police reform. If you study your history, then you know that the police departments were beefed up and made more robust as we moved into the Reconstruction period of the United States after the Civil War, and that they were tasks specifically to apprehend African American men and women so that that slave labor that was missing after the Civil War freed slaves was still available.
Jamal, fuck you, man.
So
like for real.
yeah, like for real. Like don't even
Whoa, what I
Robbie,
missed?
for
What I
real,
missed?
for real, for real.
Yeah,
I'm not even
really,
reading the
really.
comments.
Come on,
But
man. You know
like
what I'm saying?
that's the history of policing and prisons in the United States. And why, like if you are a logical person, and I'm so grateful that we've not brought politics into this Democrats and Republicans into this at all. But if
Fuck both them niggas.
into our current discussion today.
No
But if
need.
you
No
are
need.
a lot exactly, if you're a logical person and you know that African Americans, black people, me, represent 13% of this America's population, but they're like 30% of people that are incarcerated, and constantly, daily, there are cases that are being brought back to light and brought back to life where the person that's in jail on death row or
Got
for
wrongly
how much
accused.
was wrongly accused and convicted. Like, do y'all not see that? Like, do y'all not see the disparity? There is no disparity as far as Jamal and whatever that other lady's name was. Like, there's no disparity. Like, we are treated fairly. But I will present to you, and I wish Ricky Kelly was on. He was on our show a couple of weeks ago. And his idea, I'm not sure if it's his, but he definitely has been explaining it a lot on social media, was to all cops have insurance like malpractice insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So you start out, your premiums are low, you're newly from the academy, your premiums are low, and then as you move along in your career, you're just like you move along in your driving record, your premium is based on your rating, and your rating is based on occurrences, valid occurrences. So as you, like the man that killed George Floyd, his shit would probably have been too much. So, and then police unions would agree to pay up to a certain much through dues, right? And then after that, it's a liability to the individual police officer and the police union. Like just let's just do that, because that meant that lends to transparency,
Mm-hmm.
right? I am a cop and I have 10 occurrences against me where people of a certain hue or just people in general say that I have wronged them, I've used excess force, blah 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 blah, then my the ticker on my insurance policy rate goes up. And at some point we're not going to be able to he's not going to be able to afford to work.
That's what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, talking about we come a long way from, like y'all kept our ancestors as fucking slaves. Of course, we've come a long way to that. Well, I'm allowed to buy a fucking house from slavery. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, or no. Let's even talk about slavery because that's way too long. Where I'm allowed to keep the money that I make for myself and my family without having to give it to someone else because I'm a sharecropper, or I'm allowed at this point in time. Like my thing is right here. Yeah. There should have never been a point where people of color should have to fight for civil rights. We shouldn't have to fight for something civil. You know what civil is? Civil is just like saying being polite, saying hello, leaving me the fuck alone while I go into a store. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this. And this is what I want to say is right here. Right. I just want y'all to realize when you're saying this right here. No, we should, like, the civil rights movement was a great movement. Well, first of all, we should have had guess you listen, but I'm saying none of your listeners kept slaves. That's white splaining it at my best.
Oh my
God. That is white
so,
splaining it. And you know what I'm saying at the best. Because guess what? No. But let me say this right here. If slavery was still legal with some of your relatives would have kept some slaves. Without the civil rights movement, without slavery being abolished, because you can't keep slaves because it's not legal anymore. Just like they don't put cocaine in coke anymore. Because
or Robitussin.
So you know what I'm saying? That part right there, no, it's in modern day. We understand we were wrong with the shit. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is this right here. But what perpetuates the fact is this right here. Because what you have to do is this right here. We moved outside of slavery. Now we have to move into the place where you have to see black people as your equal. You have to, you know what I'm saying? You and you have to see a black person. You have to be willing to be like, you know what? I want to be black for a day. As a white person, you have to say this in your mind. I want to be black because I'm proud of my black friends. If you don't say that, you know what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying is this right here. Because I think what's the lady's name? She did and I wish I had her name on top of it. But she said, how many people, she asked a group of white people, said, how many of y'all would trade places with black people? None of them raised their hands. Right. Why wouldn't you? Because you understand this shit is fucked up for us. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. And it's not your fault. We're not blaming white people. We're blaming America. See, what I'm saying is, right, it's the laws and shit that, guess what? We understand that y'all had none of that shit to do. The reason why we argue with you is because you're trying to perpetuate those laws. You're trying to say those laws are okay because what they don't affect, a law does not affect you the same way it affects people of color in most cases. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to understand. It's like this. We're financially, like we can tell with the coronavirus, it's all this stuff that's represented. And you know what I mean? If you just take the time and listen, if you take the time and just go through the black, I want you to do this right here. How many of y'all have gone on Netflix and watched some of the stuff out of the Black Matter series? Or on anything else? How many of you guys have watched the 13 or the, you know what I'm saying, or the Malcolm X story? How many of you have done that to, you know what I'm saying, if you go into it and you say, okay, boom, I'm gonna go ahead and take time out and see how we've been treated, and then maybe you can see like, okay, I see where y'all going with it. I'm not like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not a black person who's gonna blame white people for everything like that. A lot of shit is our fault, but a lot of shit is this country's fault because what happened was this right here. People's garden tools got rights. That's what it is. The garden tools, the tractors, the cotton picking machines got rights, and they did not want to do that. They don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you look past the point of what police brutality is, you know what I'm saying? It's like this. You know what I mean? And then what I'm saying is this right here. What we're saying is that don't argue with us. Ask us. Like, okay, go to the next person who has done that
and
shit.
Believe us. Believe our answers. And that has a lot to do with it. Like, you asking these questions, like I'm telling you, Howard Bice and Karen, to go watch 13 on Netflix and believe that
Right,
what is in that documentary, it's a documentary. It's true and
right,
real. And then you process that. But a
right.
lot of times they
Watch the
don't believe us. And then we're
watch
just,
the Meek Mill
yeah,
documentary.
we're
Like, yo, look
whining,
at this.
complaining. You know what? Fuck y'all. Like if that's
Dude.
not a equal, equitable
No,
conversation
it's
at
not.
all.
Yo, for the simple fact that a lot of people won't watch those type of movies because you have to sit there for about 2 hours or maybe 3 hours without any commercial breaks. Now I'm
Mhm.
surprised nobody said, "Hey, I watch Roots." You can watch Roots and be like, "Oh shit, that's fucked up," and then you have a commercial break, go fix you a sandwich, and come back, get your thoughts back, and just watch it again. You feel what I'm screaming? So watch Shaka Zulu. You know what I'm saying? Without the commercials. Watch, you know what
Watch
I'm saying?
Mandingo.
Watch
And
Mandingo.
yeah, watch
You know what I'm
Mandingo.
saying? You
Watch
know, watch,
13. There's
you
so
know,
many, and that's the whole thing. Like these people that are making these comments also are willfully ignorant because there's plenty of media out there, movies, shows,
what's see, Key?
YouTube
All your
Well,
videos.
Key, well, Key,
Like they're
the thing,
willful, they just don't want, they
well,
just
Key,
don't want
the
to.
thing about it is, Key, you can watch it because number one, that's the physical part. When you say slavery, you always put the physical part to it. You don't put the mental part to it. The mental, you know what I'm saying, of what you're doing. If you go to war, you in the Vietnam War, and you chilling with these dudes, and then all of a sudden he gets shot right in front of you, you don't think that's gonna fucking affect you?
And we have people in the comments, Howard
You
Bice,
know?
saying documentaries aren't necessarily true. Perspective is biased. So like whatever. Like
Hold
those
on,
are
hold on.
the type of people
I
that
want, I want to do this right here.
Mhm.
I want to argue that point too right here. But also, not watching the documentary and having a biased opinion is the same fucking thing. Watch the documentary, look at it. Maybe you might learn something. Because guess what? With me, I thought I knew the black experience until I started watching some of these documentaries. You know what I'm saying? I just watched a documentary last night.
Yep.
This is how crazy shit is. I just watched a documentary last night, and this is totally off the subject. But I just watched a documentary. Well, I learned something. We all love the movie Predator, right? Did y'all know John Claude Van Damme was supposed to play the Predator? He was actually, and they made a costume. He was in it. He got fired from the shit. I didn't know that. Didn't know
But
that
just because it was in a documentary, it doesn't mean
because
it's
it was in
true,
the
Bishop.
documentary. I learned something that was true.
No, no. Just because of like people lie in documentaries, like they
Right.
really lie. You know what I'm saying? They don't. It's not true. So whether you're talking about the predator or you're talking about the extension of 300 years of slavery, 400 years of slavery into the current penal system, it's not true. Documentaries are lies.
Hey,
Yeah. Look,
hey, Keisha, clear this up because you weren't saying fuck you to them per se.
to
You
Karen.
were making a point, right? You were in the middle of making a point, and you weren't saying fuck you to Karen and Howard and all of them. You were making a separate point, right? As an example, or were you?
I may have been making a separate point, but I really do feel like when you have this whole panel of intelligent ass black people that are telling you one thing and you're telling me another, and you never experience being a black person a day in your life, and you probably haven't had that many conversations with black people outside of some people on this damn the comment section, then fuck you. That's what I meant.
Now it's like this, and guess what? Someone and one person telling you fuck you should not deter you from getting an education.
That's what I meant. Like I'm serious. Like
I'm at the end of the
expand
day because
your diaspora. Like
if a fuck
expand
you,
your diaspora.
right?
Like, and if you don't, then fuck you. Because you haven't talked to me, the mother of a black man, the ex-wife of a black man, the mother of 3 black sons. Like you haven't talked to me. You haven't talked to me about my daily experiences and the worries that I have. My son's in Emerald Isle right now. I can't even fucking sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? So you haven't talked to me. You have your jaded view and
and
your
if we're
confirmation bias
defensive,
is so apparent.
yeah,
Your
you're
confirmation bias. You find those that think like you, whether they be black, brown, or white,
mhm.
and you feel like you're okay with life. Let me tell you that the experiences of these motherfuckers, these black dudes and women in this comment section that are agreeing with y'all and Hail Mary and high fiving y'all is not the general experience of anybody on this panel and most of the black people I know. And I know a lot of fucking black people. So expand your horizons. Talk to somebody like me. If y'all want to go to lunch and y'all want to talk, I'm always open. I've said
I'll
that
come
before.
too. I'll
Let's
take the
do
day
it.
off. I'll
Let's
take
do
the day
it.
off.
Let's
I'll
do it.
come.
So
I'll
you
come.
can hear and you can look in my eyes and see my worry when my black boys walk out of this door on a daily fucking basis. I can't sleep until they get home. What am I going to do in another year or so when they're not living here? Like, these are the worries that I have in my life, and they are completely justifiable. So we got to move on to the next thing. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all comments, but really in a friendly, the most friendly fucking way. Fuck you if you're not trying to talk to me about my life and you think you're talking about my life. Like,
Right.
really, fuck you.
Yeah,
Like,
first of all, and I want to
mean
say
it for real.
before we move on, I want to say this right here because the reason why you know what I'm saying, it's like this because I don't know if y'all know this right here. Your comments are being dismissive. You're dismissive. You're. It's kind of like saying someone's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's dismissive. You're saying that. What about this? When we're talking about subject, but what if you're trying to dismiss the subject matter at hand? It's like this because we're coming from a place where you have to think about this. You grow up in privilege. You know what I'm saying? You grew up in a certain privilege where everything was stacked. You know what I mean? Laws and everything are stacked up on your side. What I'm saying is this right here. Any white male in America has a certain privilege that's given to him. And I'm telling you this right here because what you can do is this right here. You can get up in the morning and drive 3 states over and go walking around someone's neighborhood, jog or whatever. Let's go jog at somebody, and no one's going to ask you any questions during this day. No one's going to look at you strange. It's like this because of the fact that we do have a very strong racist. Not saying anybody's in here. Just because we have so many people that are racist and biased because of skin color, you have to say, okay, I'm never going to deal with that because you could be gay, right? But until you tell someone you're gay and you're white, they don't know you're gay until you say it. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Me coming in your neighborhood, it's a black dude in my neighborhood. If I walk in your neighborhood right now and you don't have any other black people in your neighborhood and I'm just walking around in the neighborhood, you know what you're going to do? You're going to get suspicious. Why is he in my neighborhood? And don't say you don't, because everybody in this comment list, even the people that's on this panel, has been scared of black people without a reasonable cause. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I dare you to say that you haven't. And it's not your fault because what we're saying is this right here. We're not saying that Karen or Howard, it's your fault. Y'all own slaves. No. But what it is, there are people that have benefit from slavery. Cotton, the people that you put your stocks into and everything like that. Charles Schwab, those people have benefited from slavery because you had a 400-year workforce without having to pay these people. And then what you did is then you didn't let them rise after the point of it was over with. So that's what I'm saying. So when we're talking about, well, that's what the place we're talking about. I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's your fault if you're not willing to listen to try to make change. What we're saying is this right here. We're not asking for a handout. We're saying, yo, get in line with us
Equity,
to help us get past
equity.
That's
it. Equity. That's it. Equity and process.
So
Equity
how do we
and
do
due
that?
process.
How do we do that?
So I stay in a mixed neighborhood. I got white people in my neighborhood and everything. So you know what I'm saying? You walk in my neighborhood, I don't care. I'm like, oh, that's the dude. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy running. Because when I do, if you know what I'm saying, if you walked in my neighborhood or whatever right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I have a very mixed race neighborhood. So no, you wouldn't stand out. But I'm saying is this right here. But black people automatically stand out.
Automatically. All right.
Well,
Yeah, just had this
Move on.
Yeah.
conversation, man. I had this conversation like, what if we just, what if something just happened, like some acid rain or some shit popped off and your fucking
Chocolate rain?
damn skin, everybody's skin just fell off. how would you
We got
know
we
who
got
was
it.
black? How would you know if you know what I'm saying? Because once you take this skin off, we're all the fucking same. The muscles still the same, fucking heart still the same, blood still the same. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's different is your mind state. You feel me?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
if you take your
Yep.
skin off, if you take our skin off, then what would you get mad about? What would you what is there to get mad about? Oh, his fucking muscle tone is too fucking big. Fucking niggas, motherfuckers with
Your
muscle.
arm
Well,
muscles
you
is
know what I'm
too
saying? Your
big.
muscle tone is too big. I'm
That's
not
no.
trying to.
People find a way. They like,
They
oh,
find a way to get up.
the tall
Exactly.
people against the short people.
Yeah, yeah. The tall people against the short people. Come on, man. This is stupid. This is fucking stupid, man.
All right, our guest is
Yo, let's
here.
go.
Yeah, let's
Look.
go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go ahead and transition. But look, before we transition, Karen, look, I see you. I want to, I want to hear about what we can do to fix things. Look, the first thing is just starts with is just listen, okay? And trust me, we're glad you're here. All right,
Oh,
but
definitely.
we do need to get moving along. Um, we have some guests in the house. All right.
Joey.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Black domestic workers continuing to call for standards in the care community, aka we live in black. I mean, sorry, we dream in black. And we have some guests from We Dream in Black. Let's see. And they should be showing up on the screen right now.
What's up, ladies?
So we
Hey,
have
how are y'all
Aaron
doing?
and
Hello.
Stan
Hi,
from We
ladies.
Dream in Black. Ladies, how are you doing today?
Doing very well. Yeah, doing great. Thanks for having us.
No. Look, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. Do me a favor. Share with our audience. What Dream in Black is. What We Dream in Black is all about.
We Dream in Black is a program that we are with the National Domestic Workers Alliance. We are here to let domestic workers know the rights at their works. We have resources and we have trainings, and we develop leaderships to empower our Black women who are domestic workers, which are our CNNs, our early educational child care teachers, our housekeepers, anyone with a big heart that loves doing what they're doing and taking care of others.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better at all. There's a lot of talk in politics right now around the labor movement, 15 in a union, and just highlighting Black women, especially in the labor movement, is a big part of our work because we know Black women are the last one to get raises, last one to get protections at work. People try to make us the last ones to get anything, and being able to build together, raise our voices, and look out for our needs is crucial, especially at a time like right now.
Ladies, I got a question for you. Okay. Do you think that sexism is at the root of low wages for domestic workers?
Yes, I do. Aaron, you want to start off?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely sexism, but we know that being Black, being a woman, being a working class Black woman, all of those things impact our lives. And so domestic work in particular faces so much more harm and abuse even than other industries because it's Black women who are at the forefront and have been from the time domestic work started getting done in this country. And now we see migrant women who move here for better opportunities and better lives also, have a lot of these jobs. And so Black women, migrant women who are also Black and other people of color, people give us their ass to kiss. And that is at the root of the wages, the respect, how people treat the work that we do. And so, it's a huge part of it, but impacts Black women in a completely unique way.
Yes. Like how Black women are different, treated at work, out of respect. We lose promotions, lack of wages, and we just want our voices heard. And yes, there's a lot of sexism in the domestic workers field.
Yeah. Are there any other threats in that space? As much as I hate to say it, things like sexual harassment and things of that nature.
Yes. Sexual harassment, like the female dominant industry has the highest reports of sexual harassment. But unfortunately, it's like swept underneath the carpet, like due to the lack of knowledge, women rights, they don't know the rights that they have, the power that they have, and who to go to for them to tell their story about harassment, who will understand it, who will believe in them to hear, to understand her story. So, and how just the society just look at domestic workers. We are just caretakers, babysitters, housekeepers, but we want to change that. And that's why a lot of harassment happens. So if we can spread the knowledge, the power to these women, we will stand up and be heard.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Period. That's what's up.
Wow,
Y'all protest.
wow.
I see y'all out there protesting and all that good stuff. If I'm not mistaken, you were down there for the not the reopening. What was the other one beforehand? Before that one, Key?
I'm having a little hard time hearing you. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Y'all were protesting downtown, and I saw y'all down there marching. How did you feel about?
Hear you.
You still can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
I can hear you, Tico.
Yeah, I can hear
you now.
You can hear me now?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that. I said I saw you down there protesting. How do you feel about doing all that with all this COVID-19 going on and all that good stuff?
I think it froze. We couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear like some
So
background
you
noise,
guys
but I
are.
can
Can
hear
you
you
hear
speaking.
me?
Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Let me try something.
Yeah, I can hear you, Key.
Can they hear me though?
Ladies, can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, it's weird. We can hear the other speakers, but
we couldn't hear everybody. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
So Perry, they
So
can't hear me.
I think if y'all can hear me, I think what Tico was asking was, how did y'all feel about when you were out there protesting, about the COVID, the threat of COVID and everything like that, and how are you taking precautions for that?
Well, we actually just finished having a webinar about the protection of when we go out to protest. We always stay in a group. We always let people know where we are going and who we with. We also have information on, in case we do get arrested or something may happen, that we have resources that will be there to back us up and help us out in situations.
Yeah, and even as far as coronavirus, I feel like in the next few weeks in media, they're going to try to scapegoat the protesters as being the reason for these new cases and things like that. When in reality, people are at brunch, people are hanging out, people are opening it back up the economy like nothing ever happened. And especially for domestic workers, people go to work in direct care facilities and don't have masks, don't have gloves, don't have face shields. When you go to a protest, the riot police that are tear gassing people and shooting rubber bullets, they're never missing a piece of protective equipment that they need. And so, going out, having our voices heard, fighting back against this messed up system is the thing that we have to do to have basic level protections. And if we didn't go out there, we'll go to work and still be exposed to the same harm because people aren't even getting what they need at work. And the corporations have the money to do it.
Yes.
Ladies, I got a question. What are some of the action steps that, we as the people that you serve can take to help with the fight for better pay and benefits for you?
Go ahead. Yeah. Anything you want people to get behind?
Yes. Domestic workers, we work long, hard hours, and we work by the care of our hearts. And the steps that we are taking is right now, listening to webinars, taking trainings, standing up for your rights, taking protests, marching to the Capitol, letting them know that We need protection. We need these wages. We out here to care for your precious ones, but we don't have PPE to protect ourselves. So we won't carry this back home to our families. So we just have to be, I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like right along those lines, there is a platform. If you're in North Carolina, people can sign on to. It's the NC Survival and Beyond platform. It's a coalition of hundreds of grassroots organizations, organizers throughout the state, and everyday people who wanted a COVID response that would actually protect people. And domestic worker rights are highlighted and covered in that. So you can go to survivalandbeyond.info. It has the platform, what it's about, and again, it highlights Black domestic workers, but also highlights everyone else who will be impacted by COVID and has essential worker things, all of that. And then just in your everyday lives and practice. I know in my family, Black domestic workers, Black women are the ones that kept the lights on, kept the rent paid, were able to buy houses for everybody so that people had a place to live and stay in a community house for everybody, and respecting that work that made so much of our work possible today. And paying people a living wage. If you got a housekeeper, make sure she's paid. If you didn't lose your job, make sure she still has hers during this crisis. You know, it takes us taking care of each other too.
No doubt, no doubt.
They need to cite one more time in the comments. They want to know the site one more time, please.
It's survival and all spelled out beyond.info. And then if folks want to check out We Dream in Black, the work that we're doing, you can go to facebook.com/We Dream in Black, all one word together. And see what we're building, see what we're doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron, Chan, yo, thank you for coming through.
Definitely, most definitely.
We Dream in Black. Definitely go out and support. Okay, definitely go out and support. Thank you for once again, thank you for coming through.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, thanks all for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Thanks.
We can hear you. Well, we can hear you on our end. So now that's man, like, there it is. It's more and more examples of things that we need to learn about. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember making a joke about, you know what I'm saying, people working in certain jobs and everything like that before COVID. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, like I take back that shit all together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this, because a lot of us would be hungry if, like, imagine this right here. If those, you know what I'm saying, if those domestic workers, the people that worked at Burger King and Food Lion and everything like that, jobs that we necessarily don't want to do. Imagine if they said, yo, I'm scared for my mammy. Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
Imagine. And it's so telling in the comments. There was a comment, Amber says, where are the pay disparities? What jobs? Amber, there have been so many studies. Like there's been so many studies about how Black men and women get 10 to 20% on the dollar of what their white counterparts do. So when this is the whole thing, like I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of movies to watch and documentaries to watch and books to read and YouTube videos to watch if you're not going to open your mind and accept this information as what it is.
The truth.
Like it is just inherent in our society that when Black people speak, we lying. I'm not lying. These are things that I experience as a Black woman. These are things that my co-host experience as Black men. So there's always that overshrouding doubt in what we're saying is truth. For real.
It's like we
when
gotta
it really should be on the president because he lies on a daily fucking basis.
See,
like
so
I don't understand.
Amber, stop. That's okay. Stop. Don't do that. Pick another career shit. It's hard enough to have jobs out this motherfucker as it is. You know what I'm saying? There is not, you know what I'm saying? There is, you know what I mean? There is not an easy way. Some people rightfully so, don't have the, you know what I mean, pick another career. No, they picked a career. Their career should pay them what they are supposed to be paid. There is no, you know what I'm saying? See, it's like this. We shouldn't have to run from where we're at. We should have what we're supposed to get.
But even
You know
if we run to another career, we're
right.
still
You're still gonna get
categorically
paid less.
less.
You're still
Right.
gonna get paid
It
less.
doesn't even matter.
It doesn't
even
matter.
I make good money, yo. I make good money. But I anticipate that my white male counterpart gets paid more than me.
Can I say this right
For
here?
the
Can I say
same
this right here?
fucking job, but I obviously do it better because I'm awesome.
Chris
But
Rock
Jordan
said,
Tatum, nigga.
Chris Rock said this right here. He said, and we can all agree that Chris Rock is one of the better comedians of our time, right? Makes a lot of money. He said, yo, when I moved to my house, my next door neighbor, guess what he was? He wasn't a CEO. He wasn't a rocket scientist. He wasn't an investment banker. He was a dentist. Our premier comedian of all time was living next door to a dentist. I want you to sink that in real quick.
Yep.
I want you to sink that in real quick. Because
there's a lot of things to unpack there.
You know what I'm saying? You see how
probably could have moved to a higher echelon neighborhood, but didn't want to because of all of the.
He moved to a higher echelon neighborhood. The dentist made enough money to live in this neighborhood. A dentist with a superstar next door to it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. We gotta look at those disparities. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what it is right here. If you come to get help, what you have to do is this right here. You have to take your whiteness out of the equation. You have to stop trying to white explain it because you have to say this right here. You did not grow up in this situation. You have never experienced these situations ever in your life.
Struggle.
Can't. You have not. So when it comes down to you trying to say, we'll pick another career, it's not that easy. Yes, okay. Karen, you're blessed enough to be able to pick another career if you don't like it and get what you're supposed to pay. And I'm glad for you. I'm glad that you are able to move in that what's the name? That's it, man. I'm sorry, I'm out of here.
So even if that's the case, I'm a teacher. I deal with kids. I love kids. I've been dealing with kids all my life. My mother had daycare centers, you know what I'm saying, ever since I was, small. So I've always been around kids. And I enjoy teaching kids. I enjoy seeing their faces. I enjoy that. But the pay fucking sucks. So you're saying that because, and the reason why I'm still there is because of the kids. I could do something else. But me doing that wouldn't be a career. It would be a job. I'll be moving to get a job, not a career. You feel what I'm saying? Because, a career is something that you love to do. Just because I love dealing with kids, meaning that I should be paid less. I should be teaching your kids to make more money than me. That's fair. I should teach your kids the reading, writing, and all that good stuff, and to be a better person and to get all this education to be better than me. Is that what you're saying? I shouldn't get paid. I shouldn't be paid. That doesn't make sense. And it's not just being black. It's just being, there's white teachers that do the same, that are in the same boat. So, I mean, I don't understand that logic. I don't understand it at all. So when your child is not getting the education that you think that they should be getting because the teacher is working 9 to 10 hours, that's schoolwork, and then a part-time job, and then have to come home and do other papers and this, that, and other. So you're not getting, so what are you saying? Exactly. CNAs, $8 to $10 an hour, taking care of people. But see, after what I think, sometimes I think it's instilled in people because we've done this shit since slavery. We've taken care of their kids. Shit. Y'all used to drink the fucking milk from our fucking damn from our ladies, from our women. I think it might be instilled that, hey, this is what they're supposed to do. So let's throw them some crumbs. Fuck that shit, man. If I'm taking care of your kid and I'm cleaning your house and I'm making sure everything is to your standards, you should pay me accordingly.
That's true. Somebody in the comments says if money is important, chase the dollar, and that's besides the point. If you're in a career where somebody is paid more just based on the color of their skin, that's what we're talking about. And again, y'all can be as woefully ignorant as you want, but there have been studies compiled to
Show
that shows
like
that disparity.
what I'm saying is like this. Women itself, with you, I'm saying the same studies that shows the difference in racism is different in sexism. Women get paid less money than dudes, and every woman in here can attest to that. Regardless of race, creed, or color. You know what I'm saying? Women get paid less than men on the dollar. Is that fair? No. That's not fair. That's not fair for someone to be sexist to own a company and pay a lady that's doing the same job that my male kid, that Tico's doing. I'm paying Tico $80,000. She's getting $60,000, and they're doing the same job. And that's you know what I'm saying. And if you can respect that, now are you saying that? Are you guys saying that doesn't happen? I want to know. Since you're all in it, you're all in here this coops for this black shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Listen, fuck that. It doesn't matter about education level. That's another farce that they put into that shit. That you know what I'm saying? Because it's people like what I'm saying, Amber. People are doing the same job and they're not being paid the same thing. They're not being paid. They're not being paid the same thing. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like this. We're gonna go educational basis. Fuck that. If I know how to turn a screw, it don't matter if I went to Howard or DuBry. If I'm turning the same screw on the same whatever we're building, I should be able to get paid the same thing because guess what? Because it doesn't matter what education level you got because you don't have an experience in that shit anyway. You know what I mean? I can't, you know what I'm saying? I work in customer service. You know what I'm saying? I got X amount of years in customer service. There's no way someone that just graduated college should come in and just because they have a degree make more money than me. Doesn't make any sense. The system is broken when it comes down to that. You know what I mean? Because they ask you for experience. If I'm experienced, that means I know the tricks and trades. I know how to I know what happens. I've dealt with these phone calls or whatever and everything like that. I've done with all that shit. And I've been doing this shit for 10 plus years. No one's coming out just because you had a degree in the same shit that I'm doing and I don't means you should come in making more money than I do.
Yo, man, Ford said he felt bad that people were working. There's no reason that I should that they should be out here making cars and not afford to be able to drive one. So what did he do? He gave them stocks. He put money in their pocket, gave them more money in their pockets. So when it ran out, when the Model T rolled out, they could afford one.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that you have to do. Pay motherfuckers what they want. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect, if you want people to, you know what I'm saying, to spend money, you got to give us money to spend.
The fuck out of here. Yo, the fuck out of here with that shit, Howard. Women get paid less for many reasons, maternity leave, the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Because what I'm gonna say is this right here. Maternity leave, when you're a lawyer, physical ability don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? When you're working in the call center, physical ability, when you're a manager, when you're managing the call center, you know what I'm saying? You're not or anything else. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know what I mean? We're not building houses. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter if you hire someone, just because they're different should not mean they should be paid less. Because guess what? What I'm gonna say is this right here. Just because you know what I'm saying you got high cholesterol doesn't mean you shouldn't get paid less on a construction site. Because you could have a heart attack. The fuck out of here.
Howard. I am one that never speaks on shit I don't know about. And your comment on maternity pay, you obviously know nothing. I've been doing payroll for 23 years and it is a disability. So
Yep.
if you were to go out, Mr. Howard, male with a penis, would go out on
On disability
disability, you would get paid the same amount as
amount,
a woman having a baby. So shut the entire
fuck up.
fuck
Because I've
up.
did, and it's like
Shut
this.
up.
What
Like
the,
if you don't know,
can I-
about what you're talking about, then don't speak on it. Like that's
well,
not what we're here for. We're
your
here for
argument should
facts.
have
We're
your
here
argument
to
should have
put
been this
all
right
the
here.
we're here to put all the facts together, sir. We're here to put all the facts together and make sure all the facts are equally applied, no matter what your gender is or what your race is. Shut the fuck up.
What I'm saying is this right here. Here it is right here. And at the end of the day, what your argument should have been on is more paternity leave. That means for fathers, because fathers need to, because what it is, it's a gross gross misstatement that more companies don't do paternity leave because they allow the mothers to take leave, but they don't allow fathers of children to sit out those 3 months to bond with their children. That's the argument. You see that? You see where that changes? It's like this because you fuck with people that work in benefits. You know what I'm saying? I've worked the benefits for a lot of time. So it's like this. Some companies allow paternity leave, which means you get those 60 to 90 days off as a father and still get paid to be with your children because your children are just as much as yours as they are the mothers. You get to come out there and help her out and do things of that nature. Like my job, the job that I have right now didn't have paternity leave. So guess what I had to do? I had to work from home and take away from my work while I was working, but I still had to work.
Not too long ago, y'all. So he
Yep,
just
had
had twin
twins.
babies.
Just
Right.
had twin babies. You know what I'm saying? So
But
let's talk about it.
all of that is cool, but you have the option to go to another company, right?
I
So
do.
if I'm a woman or if I'm a woman and I'm looking for a job, then and I'm of childbearing age, which I'm not, I haven't been for a long time, but
You are 42 years old. You can have like 3-4 long babies.
no, sir.
You start. You are 8.
No. I am going to look at the maternity benefits available in that company. And if I'm married, I'm going to look at if my husband's going to look at the paternity benefits in his company. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about categorically women and people of color and women of color, me, are paid less for the same job that they're doing. Stop fucking deflecting.
Don't
and
deflect
making
it.
me angry with your unfounded ass, stupid ass comments.
All right, look, ladies and gentlemen, look, I know we were supposed to be discussing solutions and reform, but you know what? Sometimes we have to take the discussion the way it comes to us and the way it has to go and the way it has to flow. All right. Now, I'll say this at this point. Yo, Tico.
Yes.
Do you have anything weird for us today? Because we probably need it, especially after over the past couple of weeks that we've had. Do you have anything? Please say something.
Well, there's a mom.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Chico's Theater of the Weird.
Thank you so much. You know, got to get a budget for that. Look, there's a mom who figured out the sure way to beat the coronavirus. She's been drinking. No. She's been drinking sperm smoothies. So
wow, what?
Yeah, she's been drinking
sperm
smoothies. Yeah.
Smoothies.
Yeah, she's 32 and she hasn't had a cold or a flu for 3 years. Because
Just three. Just three.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had a cold or flu for 3 years, but I don't drink.
Well, you know what? Don't set yourself for that alley-oop. Don't you just how you on that one?
You almost walked right into something vicious.
She was about to throw it
Yeah,
up.
you
You saw
sure
my wheels
did.
turning. Oh, Bishop, you saw my wheels turning.
Diamond cutter.
You almost walked into an
Cutter.
RKO out of nowhere.
Exactly.
said.
Oh my God.
Continue.
So this chick, she's a vegan. She went vegan and everything, and so she decided that she takes 3 teaspoons of her boyfriend's sperm and puts it in her smoothie.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying, for protein. You know,
Nice.
so you know.
Isn't there protein powder for that type of thing?
Yo, listen.
I think that's
Not like- it's not like
I
coming
think
from the
that's
store,
dudes over like 89 if it's in powdered form.
Why do we even let him? Why?
You introduced him. You introduced him.
I know. Okay.
You know, she says she stays very hydrated, you know what I'm saying, from a boyfriend every day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, sometimes she puts it in a teaspoon, sometimes she just takes it straight out the faucet, you know. So
there you go, Karen. Yes. Just don't make it. Just get it from the source.
Exactly. So ladies, you know what I'm saying? So ladies, it has so many benefits. So many benefits. You know what I'm saying? Put it on your face, smear it, you know what I'm saying? I heard it detoxes. You know what I'm saying? Take it, protein, shake it. You know what I'm saying? It's all hey.
What I want to say is this, right? But is sperm considered cannibalism?
Yes.
Now that is a question in itself. Now that's a whole nother question in itself.
Yeah. That's gonna take way too long. Okay,
Yeah.
it really is, because we're gonna have to say that for another one for real.
So no, I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's like this. You know what? I don't disagree with the benefits, because if we're gonna talk about like stem cell research and all that stuff, stem cells have to come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I think it comes from the jewel bags along. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there may be some.
Pause. Hella pause.
But look, all I know.
Good for who's skin, Jazz.
Maybe you shouldn't have it. You are what you eat. Yes. So, fellas, what I want to do this right here, fellas. Are you like, if you know what I'm saying? Because some of us have ladies. If your lady comes up to you and says, "Yo, I need you to drop something in my smoothie," you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you doing that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you imagine the pressure? Can you imagine the pressure? Because you gotta produce at this point in time. This ain't no, you know what I mean? Like.
Oh, Barrett,
all I can tell her is, you know what I'm saying?
Barrett, that's disgusting.
She can wake up. She can wake up with the oral. She can wake up with the oral, keep it in her mouth, spit it in the cup. That's all I can tell you.
What I'm saying is this, right? But yo, say if you said does he have to sit there and just get some alone time with a magazine
that is a lot of pressure,
or something like that?
Yes, that is a lot of pressure.
So what is she standing there? Did she walk up?
Right.
She's standing there with the
Rob,
magic
don't
bullet
do
cup.
It, Rob,
right.
Don't do it. Don't
yeah,
do
with
it.
The bullet cup. Yep.
Just standing there like, you know, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
That's a lot of pressure. That's
a lot of pressure.
Because what it is like you got to eat right too, because you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Same, she wants a different flavor. You know what I mean? You got to eat pineapples for a whole month to make sure that shit tastes like pineapples.
Yeah. Asparagus is not the shit.
Yeah,
but are you
asparagus? Hell no.
Yeah. I'm asking you, fellas, I'm asking you, Tico, are you doing it? If your woman asks you.
Oh well, you know, I'll drop a load in there. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that.
Perry?
Now when I drink it, now that's the problem.
You know me, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, the drinking, that's gonna be a problem. So.
Right. So you mad at the her drinking it? Okay, use something else. Okay.
No, not her drinking it. Mad at I'm not drinking it.
No,
you're not. You don't. No,
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
Rob, are you dumping it? Are you dumping in the smoothie? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Are you the smoothie king out this mug, Rob?
Bruh. Listen, man. I'm just saying I can't get over I'm just minding my business. and you just gonna walk up to me with a magic bullet container and like, you know what I'm saying, produce like right now, like, damn, I mean,
Right.
can you help me out a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Something,
I
right? You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I mean, is there an old issue of black tail in this motherfucker?
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
for real.
Something. You
With
give me
blue
something.
can trail in it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
You get no help. You get no help.
I mean, I wouldn't drink it. I mean, you know, I would suck my own dick, but I wouldn't drink my cum or something.
This fool said, take a shot.
No, don't
you know,
ride.
Blaze
Do
over
not
there,
repeat.
please,
No,
please,
no,
Blaze over there.
no,
Blaze over.
no.
Too late in the
Hey,
show.
look, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Look, our numbers are steadily declining right
Rob,
now.
don't do it, Rob, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Look, man, I'm
Don't
just
do it.
saying. I'm
Oh,
just saying.
no.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna do nothing, bro. I'm not gonna do nothing. This is the part. This is the part of straight to tape that goes completely left every time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Why?
yeah.
Because of him.
I really
Because
think
of
I
him.
maintained.
Because him.
Whatever.
I mean, hell, we needed it after this past month of bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, what
true,
girls? What they say? You put baby pee
Yo.
on. You put baby pee on your face, right? Girls, they say, you know, you have a baby, put baby pee on your face.
Yeah, baby pee works.
You
My
know what
mama
I'm
said the
saying?
same thing. You put it, and it take it,
Baby P works for what?
for clearing up skin,
clearing
skin
skin up.
shit,
Skin problems.
skin problems. Yep. Uh-huh.
That's some old country
so-
shit.
so ain't nothing
hell
like
no.
a-
Yeah, that's
ain't-
some country
Watch
shit.
your mouth.
Thank you. That
so
ain't
ain't-
country shit, yo.
That's
So
some
ain't
old
nothing
school
like a, ain't nothing like
country
a
shit.
go, ain't nothing like a golden shower and a damn face painting to make you fucking feel great after damn day, make you feel great.
Yo,
Keisha,
What?
Save
please
us,
tell
baby.
us you have a verse.
Save
Save
us,
us
baby.
from this. Please
Really?
save us
Like,
from this.
I didn't plan on it, but it's not even empathy at this point. It's deep process. That's my whole platform right now. Like all black people are screaming for at this point with the riots and protests are due process. There are countless examples of how use of force is applied differently from one color to another. And all we're crying for is our due process. There are bad black people, just like there are black people that commit crimes, just like there are white people and Asian people and Latino people that commit crimes. But somehow, a simple, not even simple, but a man that is in the Wendy's uh, drive-through line ends up dead after his exchange um, with police for a non-violent crime. So all we're asking for is our fucking due process. Lock them up. Take them to jail. Allow them to have their day in court. That's it. And aside from that, what makes anyone think that what we've experienced just over these past 3 months would not make a black man scared to be approached or apprehended by police? It's a real fear, y'all.
Yep.
Just like police want to call that they fear for their life, motherfucker, we fear for our lives because y'all have claimed for so long that you feared for your life. Rashard Brooks was no threat to anyone. And for anyone to try to say that he was, fuck you. And I mean it with a big stick.
What I'm gonna say is right here. Tamar Rice wasn't a threat to anybody.
Absolutely nobody.
You know what I'm saying? That was a kid. What we should have burnt this shit down when they killed a 9-year-old kid for playing with a toy gun in the park. So
Right.
we forget those examples.
Right. Yeah.
Philando Castile.
We
You shoot
don't we
the man in
don't
front of his daughter.
we don't forget, Bishop, but these are the examples that are cataloged in a black man's brain when he gets stopped by the police.
Mhm.
Like every single one of those.
But you know,
Every single one of
we're
those.
supposed to forget slavery. We're supposed to forget all the bad stuff that happened. We're supposed to forget all these shootings that's happened, but we're supposed to remember 9/11.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the fabric of the United States, right?
Right.
So we have to forget the 400 years of slavery and the fact that my ancestors didn't get to build generational wealth because of events like the Wilmington massacre or the excuse me, the Wilmington
Tulsa,
massacre or the
Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Tulsa,
Black
Oklahoma.
Wall Street massacre
the Move
or
movement.
the
Mhm.
all of those other things where y'all burn our shit down. White people burned black successful communities to the ground.
And
And
no, we're not going to just say, you know what I'm saying, because Tulsa Oklahoma was more racial, but a lot of these was, see what it is, what we have to realize this right here, and I'm talking to my white brothers and sisters on here. You guys might not necessarily be racist at all. You don't see yourself as a racist, right? And I'm never going to call you racist. But we have to remember that a lot of racist people are in power. Are in power. So we're saying this is right here. America itself is built on racism. So I'm going to say this right here. Put yourself, because if I was racist, because this is what I do, like I like to put myself as a racist person. If I was racist and I didn't like people with green eyes, let's talk about, we're not talking about everybody, you know what I'm saying, we got brown eyes or whatever. Most of us do, right? Can you imagine this? If we systematically, everybody that was born with green eyes, if we systematically just said, you know what? We don't fuck with people with green eyes. And I'm in power and I say, I just don't like them because they're not to be trusted because their eyes are green. So guess what I'm going to do? If I have the power and you're not, and nobody else that has brown eyes is going to stop me, I start putting in laws because guess what? That shit doesn't affect me. When it doesn't affect you,
you
it's
don't
harder
have
for
it.
you to understand because guess what? And I'm not saying it's your fault because no, you can't help that you were born in the skin that you were born in. You know what I'm saying? You can't help that. But what we're asking is this right here. We're saying that like, hey, stop trying to look at it from your experience and do like I do. Look at it as if you were racist. I understand why racism happens. You know what I'm saying? I understand why someone could be racist. I was looking at documentaries on a guy that wasn't necessarily racist, but then transferred to the Ku Klux Klan because you know why? It was classism. Racism is the bastard child of classism.
Exactly.
It's like this: when you have a bunch of poor people, if you have a bunch of poor people and you're on the elite top, that means you're the 1%. And you have 99% of people that are poorer than you, but you want to keep your power, you have to find ways of dividing that 1%, that 99%. So you interject racism, you interject the differences because we can find racism and classism. We could go to India. It's a perfect example. What they do is right now, we can understand that everybody's Indian in India. But what they do, they have classisms. You know what I'm saying? If your name isn't a certain amount of letters, then you're not in that upper class. If your skin complexion because all of those people are black as hell. You know what I mean? You go from Tico to my complexion in India. But if your hair, if your skin color and all that stuff, they have different classes. They got classes of untouchables and all that stuff. So what it is this right here. You have to understand how it works, right? And then what we're asking for, if you are truly about like, yo, I might not necessarily agree with everything. You have to look at it like,
And that's one of the things. You don't have to agree with everything. Like, but there is some fundamental law, I guess, for lack of a better term, about what's right and what's fucking wrong. Like it just is. And just because Republicans or Democrats or
it's
blacks or whites or whatever
it's
those
racist
dividing
Democrats,
lines,
it's racist Republicans, it's
exactly.
racist people. What I'm saying is
those
right here. The laws have been built. The laws have been built, and the propaganda of America has been disproportionately villainized people of color. Because it's like this, because anytime you see gang members, you see the people that are in, or you know what I'm saying, are in the what's in, like the Black Panther Party was giving out free food and protecting the neighborhood from police brutality. That was the first Kaepernick kneel. Like if you understand it, it was a more like in your face aggression kneel, but they were saying we are protecting our streets from police brutality even back then. And you know what they did? They said, oh shit, here are angry black guys with guns. That's what they boiled it down to. And the same thing they did with Kaepernick. They boiled down, here's an angry black guy. And he's saying like this, listen, we live in democracy. Fuck that goddamn flag. You know why I can say fuck that goddamn flag? Because my dad fought the war, so I can say fuck that flag. My grandfather fought that war because I can say fuck that flag. My father-in-law fought in Vietnam, so I can say fuck that flag. You know why? Because we are a free society. Yeah, we could have been born in motherfucking North Korea.
It's always divisive when we're addressing the ugliness of racism from a black perspective. Right. It's always quote unquote divisive. You understand what I'm saying? So what's divisive is when people, and I keep saying this, when people remain willfully ignorant and willfully obtuse and just act like la 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 like nothing is going on.
Not affecting me.
Right, it's not affecting me. So why are you talking about it and saying stuff like, "Oh, this is divisive," again because we're addressing the ugliness of it.
Right, I'm not.
That's what's being divisive.
What I'm saying is right here. I am not saying that this is that what it is right here because what we do.
We're losing you.
We're losing you, man. We're
losing people are so
you're breaking up bad. You're breaking up bad.
Am I good?
Yeah, now you're better. Okay, a little better.
Okay.
So we
live streaming, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about.
Is that arm wave what sets the Wi-Fi back on?
Yeah, do your arm like this. Yeah, now speak.
Do that again.
Okay, now
the right leg up.
Yep.
Right leg up.
It works.
You're loud and clear now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tilt to the right a little bit.
So, I hate y'all. Listen, but no, it's what we're saying is this right here is we're saying that no, we're saying this right here. We're asking for your support in this. If you really want to help, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to help, what it is this right here is your support, not your argument. Like learn. Like what I'm saying is right here. When you get up, when you like, I use Howard as an example because he's been more vocal. I would invite Howard to go look at some of these documentaries with an open mind. Like stop, you know what I'm saying? Just all we're asking you to do is right here. Howard, go look at a couple of documentaries, right? Look at some of the shit. If some of the stuff don't piss you off as a human being, then come back, you know what I'm saying? And then come back because then maybe you'll have a better understanding. But instead of saying, because the funny thing is this right here. This is how white privilege is perpetrated. If you ever heard a white person say, "Go back to your country," to a black person, "Go back to your country." Okay.
I ain't got no country, nigga. I ain't got none. Where I'm going? Where?
This is my country. I was born in the United States of America. I was born in the United States of America.
Test. I had to have a whole fucking DNA test.
Right.
And not only that, we weren't sure. And to a lot of us, we weren't sure how long the march was to the coast to get on that goddamn boat.
My thing is this right here.
You know what I mean?
Once I was born, like what I'm saying, it's like this. You can't send me back to my country because America is my country. You can't. My thing is right here. My thing is this is why hatred in this country makes no sense to me. How are you going to hate on something that has been here before you were born? Like everybody in here, no one is 400 years old. No one in this comment section is 400 years old. How the hell are you hating something that's been here before you've been here? How are you hating gay people when gay people have been here before Jesus, after Jesus, and during Jesus? Gay people have always been here. What I'm saying, when you put those things, when you say what's normal, that is, being gay is normal because being gay has been here since people have been making love. You know what I'm saying? Being black is normal. You know why? Because guess what? There are more people of color in the world than are people without color. See, these are things that you have to, when you start setting shit off in your mind, when you start wanting to be one, because what it is this right here. And again, it's about the doctrine of white supremacy. It works. That's the reason why you are arguing with it. How do we help make it better? Okay, here it is right here. Help make it better is this right here. First of all, no more defensive comments. Take what it is. It's kind of like this. You're almost like this. You're victim blaming. You're saying, well, this is what no, don't burn it down. We don't have to burn it down. But sometimes shit got to be burnt down to build it back up correctly. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You know what I'm saying? If we unite and okay, you saying unite, but you can't make the comments that you're making, Howard, and then tell us unite. What are we uniting against? Because it sounds like you're divisive. And I'm talking directly to you, Howard.
Well, I'll say, and you look, and I'll say this, okay? Look, just be a part of the conversation, okay?
Please.
Period. Just
Be willing to learn.
Yeah, just be part of the. Yeah.
Yo, I think we
be
should
part
have
of
I
the
think we should have a
conversation
watch. I
and
think
be
we should
willing
have a
to
watch
listen.
party, man. I think we should have a watch party, watch a documentary, and we all just fucking build on that shit. That's all we
Agreed.
we all just build on it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
what I'm saying.
Everybody
Agreed,
brings
yeah.
everybody bring, you know what I'm saying, the documentary in, even the, you know, even our guests, if they have something that, you know what I'm saying, that they want to, you know, bounce back off, you feel me? And we'll just all
I love that.
And build on it.
I actually love that idea. I love that idea. You know,
I mean, we can talk all day. We can talk all day, but
Yeah.
let's you know, let's see what everybody's looking at. Let's see what everybody's thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
If the system's
like a book then.
corrupt, why not burn it down? What I'm saying is right here. If the system is corrupt, and we're saying that the system is corrupted, why not burn it down? How do
You say we, but
if you burn it down, if you burn it down, you better have something to fucking replace it with.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Well, we're
So
asking,
while we're in this moment, let's take those opportunities to actually learn. Okay,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
take those
hey,
opportunities.
Rap,
to
if you're
actually
willing to
learn.
translate
Yeah.
the whole documentary, I'm willing to look at it. You got it.
Right.
Raph, ain't nobody trying to be looking at subtitles, nigga. No,
Exactly.
no.
I mean, for real,
Come
man.
on, bro.
Okay, for real.
Come on,
Right?
Rap.
You know,
Come on, Rap.
might need your ass in there. You know,
You know we lazy
motherfucking
viewers.
translating and shit. You know, but ladies and gentlemen, look, once again, thank you for joining us on an interesting episode of Straight to Tape. Yeah, we were supposed to talk about solutions, but part of the solution is just having the discussion in the first place.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm glad
Absolutely.
that we were here to have this discussion. As always, follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook Straight to Tape, IG Straight to Tape, Twitter S2T on the air. Okay. Yeah, follow us on our social, on our podcasting platform to hear the audio for those who don't want to see our motherfucking faces and
We
want to
sexy.
hear us on audio. I know I am. I know everyone up here is. Okay, you know what I mean. So share us on those. Definitely follow us on those platforms. Like I said, like we always say, all we trying to do is be your favorite podcast, while at the same
Absolutely.
time having that discussion that we need to have. You know what I mean? Yo,
But we gotta
Rob.
argue. We gotta fight. We gotta fight. It's like this.
Yeah, that's what
sometimes it's
happens
this.
all
We
the
gotta
time.
fight. We
Yeah.
have to fight.
Karen,
have to fight.
yo, look. I love the idea. We're gonna be talking about that idea off, offset. And look, if you follow us on all of our social media platforms, which I know you do, all right, we'll keep you updated on how we gonna do this. All right, I love the idea, by the way. So
Yeah, send us an inbox. Send us
Thank
an inbox with I'll take the time. I'll promise y'all this right here, Karen. If you send us an inbox on what documentaries you want to watch, I will watch it. You know what I'm saying? I will definitely watch it because I watched the Epstein shit. You know what I'm saying, in one night, so it was crazy.
I did
So
too. That shit was crazy.
it was
let's
really crazy.
learn from
We should be
each
talking about that shit.
other. Yeah, let's learn from each other.
Yes.
Rob,
But in order
Yes.
to learn
Yo,
from
man,
each
yo,
other,
man.
you have to believe what I say.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Get some love, man.
In closing.
And coach.
Okay. In closing, so we can get out of here.
Rob's new AKA's the Smoothie King.
Just
Smoothie King.
that too. That's
Smoothie
yeah.
King.
Just again, man, I just want to give love to everybody that stopped through in the comments, man. I mean, much love to Howard, to Karen, my man Rav, Jazz came through, Jamal, just everybody, man, all the usual gang of idiots. And I say that affectionately.
Rob,
what?
I don't mean to cut on. Nigga, I don't mean to cut in. I just gotta send a special shout out because my man was in it the whole time. My oldest friend in the entire world, Barrett Downing. Okay. Down in Southern California, San Diego. Bruh, thank you for checking in. Thank you for thank you for being a supporter and all that. I just had to give a special shout out. I've known this kid since I was 3, bruh. Okay. 3.
So that means y'all have known each other for
You
76 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Shut up, motherfucker.
77.
Yeah, we both on.
77 years. 77.
Are you done? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Do you
My
want
bad.
to do you want to kiss the nigga on the cheek or something? Do you want to blow him a kiss or
If
some
you-
shit?
If he was
Jeez,
here,
can you
I
just
would,
give a
man. Come
shout
on,
I will.
man.
There you go, brother.
I'm
We
just
need to kiss
playing,
each other
y'all.
more. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just-
That's the problem with brothers. We need to kiss each other more on the cheek.
Hey, Keisha, we can't see you, so I don't know what you're saying in the background.
I mean, really.
You heard me. Whether you can see me or not. Jeez is what I said. Jeez.
Hey, look, just love to everybody in the comments, everybody that came through. I don't care how. Hey, Trisha, thanks for coming through. I don't care how heated the conversation got or gets. It's all love here on Straight to Tape. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. When the clock hits zeros, we all love each other. You know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So, as far as
Go ahead.
as far as documentaries, y'all, it was discussed a couple of times. Let me mute Bishop because this nigga.
I mean, for real, man. This whole, I'm just saying.
That's that Durham, son.
I live in Durham. They ride the dirt bikes, man. They ride dirt bikes out here, man. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Kids is not the truth.
Nigga, you gonna have to start broadcast from inside, bro. This is bullshit. As far as the documentary, everybody please watch 13 on Netflix. I mean, Keisha talked about it earlier, and we just want everybody to start with that. I watched it I think about a year ago, and it's very, very compelling, and it's very interesting. So please watch 13. Let's all start with that. Can we agree? We're gonna watch 13. Cool. All right.
I watched 13.
All right, everybody watch 13. All right, that's it, man. That's all I got to say, man. Peace to everybody in the comments. Much love to everybody, man.
Thank you. Yo, Bishop, what you got going on this week, man? Let the people know.
All right, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, I also have another podcast called Intelligently Ratchet or whatever. It's where me and my homeboy Kazi, P Nominal, and yeah, and you know what? I apologize because I keep on forgetting to send the link to you guys. Oops, my fault. But we're gonna get y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all watch Intelligently Ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know what I'm saying? It's more. I want to say it's more of the same. It's a different look at everything that we look at or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's about you know what I'm saying? It's more newsy. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. It's the same kind of podcast. But hey, you know what I'm saying? It's another one. So support me if you enjoy me as a person. Who doesn't want more Bishop Omega in their life? Also, pretty soon, I'm gonna go ahead and probably do another comedy Zoom joint or whatever, or even a StreamYard Zoom. So you know what I mean. If there are any comedians out there, anything like that, hey yo, holler at me. And yeah, that's it, man. Like yo, be safe, man. And if you anybody Call of Duty players, you know what I'm saying? It's Earthwood Bishop on Call of Duty. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's team up. Let's get some kills.
Yo, support our man Bishop Omega, man, and all of his endeavors.
I need it. I got more kids that can believe it.
He's a part of the Straight to Tape team as well. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, great show, great conversation. We love keeping these conversations going, and we will keep keeping these conversations going. So, for the comedian, Tico the Gaia.
Yo. What do homeless people protest about?
What are homeless people protest about, bro?
Oh God.
Here we go. Here we go. It's on its way. Wait for it.
Change.
Shut the fuck up.
Can we delete him?
No.
Delete him?
I should have muted the motherfucker. I shouldn't even ask the question. But anyway, the first lady of S2T, the quintessential hip hop mom, Keisha with a Y.
With them shoulders.
Goodbye and good evening.
Hit him with
like
the shoulders.
Though.
Oh, you got them shoulders out.
And of course, our social media assassin. That's right, number one, Rob Stud.
Yeah. y'all are on my nerves already for the day. So I have no more. I can't stand none of you niggas.
But your grandma say you too young to have nerves.
I'm out.
She
She
young to have nerves.
she also used to take nerve pills. I think I need one of them.
Yeah, water pills.
Right.
Nerves.
The nerve pill and the water pill. Anyway, man. Again, much love to everybody in the comments. Everybody that came through, man. It's all good, man. See y'all next week on Straight to Tape. Right here, same time.
Hopefully we won't be talking about another black man being killed in the street.
Right.
We're gonna talk about 13.
To be continued. Anyway, it's your man C. Perry Leezy II. As always, ladies and gentlemen, let's stay active.
Yo,
let's be aware. And let's for motherfucking once, let's listen. Listen to each other.
Just listen.
You know what I mean?
You know, for once, we're gonna end the show at the 2-hour mark because our closings are always 20 minutes and shit.
They are.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
No. Technically, no. This closing was 20 minutes, man. I'm keeping time, so it was still 20 minutes. So we still went over.
19.
But either way, we love being with y'all. We are here to be your favorite podcast. So check us out every Sunday. Check us out on our platforms.
Right.
Goddamn, just check us out. We out.
Yo, man, I'm out here rocking back and forth. I don't know.